What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for Enter the Nexus on Cradle of Death. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Cradle of Death is the map where constructs guard specific points that we have to destroy. These constructs are invincible unless we bring a truck nearby to make them vulnerable. Then we destroy them and both players need to deploy the trucks in the guarded spots to destroy the objectives. Enemy heroes of increasing strength accompany every attack wave. Blizzards sweep the map. They damage and slow all your guys that get caught in them.
Okay, so we have Twotuuu at Eviling at the Call today. How are you guys?
Great.
Great. Waking up. So, Twotuuu, how will we rank the commanders this week?
So, for this one, most commanders are gonna have to basically fight heroes from the storm, the heroes on high ground, and then once all the waves are have been stopped, then you go attack the base, and you have like 2 minutes left, 2 to 3 minutes left. So it's how you deal with the heroes, and then how fast you can push with a blizzard in the way, pretty much. And I guess for me at least, I think that if you don't know how to fight heroes from the storm, you should drop the ranking just one lower than the one that I put it.
Okay, I get that. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, that's pretty fair. And this is happening on the map that most people just skip. So you're going to be encountering quite a few people that probably have no idea how to use Cradle of Death if you're going on to PubQ. It's a map where it requires you to know how to do offense and defense at pretty much the same time, which a lot of players lack that ability to do. Either you have players that are hyper aggressive who know how to push but don't know how to defend, or people who just know only how to defend. So this is one that needs to have the both skills come together, and you can't have any like real huge committal armies because Blizzard is just going to freeze them in place, and then you're just either get whittled down by Blizzard or you're going to become sitting ducks for heroes or attack waves. Essentially, this map also has the equivalent of aggressive drop mutator on it in some sense.
Yes, at least they get announced.
So you're gonna have to deal with that. Make sure you have sufficient ground forces in order to tie it up, because most of what drops is a ground force.
Yeah, that's true.
Or something that deals with it. Anything that can deal with heroes in a storm, you're doing good, and non-committal armies.
How do we have them?
Well, unfortunately, heroes, there's a lot to say, but for Abathur, he has good ways to deal with heroes, especially since you can put Toxic Nest on the ramp. So if the heroes walk on your Toxic Nest, they will just get wet. They'll get whacked and they'll just die pretty quickly, unless like Nova or Kerrigan nukes them. Later on, you can get Apocalypse. Not Apocalypse. You can fight first, and you can stop the enemies, the heroes from attacking. And I think it's actually better too here, because you're probably a lot safer to get Guardians, because air units are better against heroes than ground units in general, because heroes like Zeratul cannot even do at all. And heroes like Artanis do less damage against air. So,
I guess.
Yeah, I put Abathur in A.
Okay, how about you, Eviling?
Yeah, I had Abathur from SA. I would agree that P0 can get it done. I would actually opt for P2 because farm hosts, and then you just fill the rounds with toxic nest. You got full biomass, so still be able to hold the heroes off. Just make sure hero feed the swarm host, or still go straight for them. And when you start pushing toward the constructs, you have 3 brutalists that go to, and then you also have the ability to deep tell a bunch of roaches, a whole bunch of ravagers, and get it done that way. So a semi non-committal army. It is your committing army, but they're easy way to get out.
Okay, at A. Let's put them in A. You can either use no prestige like Twotuuu said, or this prestige, like both just fine. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak, he has a very underused way to deal with heroes of storms, especially on this map. So coming up ramp, heroes don't have vision of you, and you can actually block off the ramp completely using force fields. And then if you can manage that, as you tech up, you have dealing with heroes of the storm blast. So they can't see up the ramp, and if you can get out, you start mind blasting the crap out of them. After that, you have 3, you'll have a mothership that you can is kind of a good non-committal army to hang out and stuff. So I have him from Este.
How about you, Twotuuu?
Very hard to use, like, well. He is extremely good on this map against heroes because you force field ramps and then you mind blast them. Reality, several things. One is that if you mistime the force field, Zeratul can kill it because he gets vision. If it's with like an air unit that gives vision of the high ground, Kerrigan or Nova might use like, and then you would have to like
Run away.
dodge, and that's the like you might lose your force field timing. If you also cannot keep Ascendants alive, then they'll be too weak and into blizzards. They're gonna be really weak and they'll die. And also if you misplace your force fields just by like a pixel, or if you miss because you forgot how long a force field lasts, your whole army is gonna die. So I don't think he's easy to use for this one. I put him in C. I put him in B and D, but I think he's to use. So probably skill issue on my part. I think he's E to C.
Kind of agree. I think Alarak's a little hard to use, especially if you can't really micro very quickly or have that hotkey thing very well practiced. But what do you think, Eviling? Do you agree?
Yeah, thinking about games you guys are saying, it makes perfect sense. I guess I'm up and I'm feeling a little too ambitious. But yes, what I was suggesting is going to require you. You cannot use F2A whatsoever. You need to be swapping back and offense back to your defense and making sure that force field doesn't go down. Because if heroes in a storm break through that, you are in mode of hurt. So yeah, I can definitely see B to C.
Okay, so which one, B or C?
I think B is okay because
Yep.
on paper he's pretty strong.
How about B star?
He has the tools to do it.
B star because you need good execution.
I mean, all of most of what we got here are gonna need good execution.
That's fair.
I mean,
So B it is then.
Heroes, yeah.
Prestige wise, you want the third one, right? The mothership?
Third one to Telt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Arcturus, where do we have him?
For Manx, you can use P1. I think P1 is better late game, but P3 is better in the early game. And I don't like using P1 because unarmed troopers just deal such pathetic damage against heroes.
Pathetic. Not just little.
So
just tiny.
P3, armed guns like it helps you survive early game, and then you eventually get enough ESOs to clear areas, and then you shoot your trucks in. But later on, if you don't have enough bunkers, Artanis, Kerrigan, they're gonna destroy your base, and you have like really little resources left.
Yeah, I see that.
So it's like if you are able to stem, and not a problem. But if you don't, your whole base is gonna die. So I put him D.
How about Pride of Augustgrad to Yamato snipes?
You won't have enough. I mean,
You
can
won't
use
have it enough
one.
earlier.
I mean,
You won't have it in time.
when we talk about the heroes that can break your fortress, we were talking about Kerrigan or are we talking as early as Dehaka and Tychus?
No, they're not gonna break it.
Yeah.
If you have enough bunkers, they won't. But Kerrigan, Artanis can. But then, like, I guess you can get one Pride of Augustgrad. But if you fight a Nova, it's gonna get sniped.
Yeah, that's the
Exactly.
concern. So we're saying Nova can break the ramp.
Also,
Easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
if
fair.
if you can manage to have your 100 mandate when Nova comes out, that will help out significantly. But that's not a guarantee that you'll be able to get Nova.
All right. So letter
I have from A to B.
A to B.
I mean, it's Arcturus.
Oh, agree with B. Wait, both right?
yeah.
All right. Both of you said B. Let's put it in B. Prestige wise, do we recommend the first one here, or the third one?
Either one. It depends.
one.
If you can survive to later on, having a Contaminate Strike clears bases so easily.
Yeah, it does.
So good. But P3,
Yeah.
if you're the one trying to survive, helping to survive the early game, P3 is much better.
All right, it's fair. Let's put him in B then. Artanis, where do we have him?
Art have him. He has, and if it is P, he can help survivability. With P3, you put shield overcharge where the heroes are coming in there. I have pretty much, I would recommend any prestige except P1. Do not use P1 against this. You need your income to have a good body count that you can replace because the heroes are going to work them over pretty good. I have him from B to C.
You're saying second prestige is better.
I don't know if I would say second prestige. I mix between anything at first, but
Okay.
I have mixed feelings between 2 or 3 P2. It allows you to turn your whole army into a semi non-committal army. Once you start, you
Alright.
can have army sitting in base, and then once you're ready to start pushing, put them in, need to get warp it in, and try not to like bounce back and forth too much. Just like go for the on one side, that's one warp in, and just keep on reinforcing for an warp in, get the and then back to
That's expensive.
the downward.
Yeah. Alright, sense. How about you, Twotuuu?
I think P3 is the only one that, because the Unbound Fanatics really really well.
You can fast expand
Artanis
too.
is that too, but that kind of hard if your
On the
ally
solo
is not
queue.
on board. But
Yeah.
or that. So I want to say related, which is I actually did a lot of research to this, and I found I did in a short guide like what timings to put the truck in, the second, the first, so that so that Nova and Karax will come together or come separately.
Okay.
So because it depends on the timing, and basically for Artanis you want them to come together. Other hero commanders you don't want to come together, but for Artanis, if Nova and Karax together, you just kill both of them with an Unbound
solar
Fanatic drop.
Arcturus.
You use Unbound Fanatics after you bait the nuke, and you just rush them with 5 Unbound Tempests and some Zealots.
Cool.
So but if they come separately, then you don't have enough cooldown. But anyways, so for the first like 15 minutes, kind of when the heroes come based on when you put the truck in. Back to Artanis. He's actually the commanders that's like when you get a late game auto, because if you run out, you will die.
That's sad.
So if you don't use your energy, like if you use a shield overcharge once too, you're gonna die because one of the bigger waves will kill you.
Oof.
So I put him in C.
Okay. Both of you said C. I guess we'll put him in D. Prestige-wise, I think we're in the third one here. Let's move on. Where do we have him?
Dehaka, he primal contender, very good. He can use Guardian. I think Guardian is better than Creeper Host for this one because they're in the air. Mass Guardians plus pack leaders, you can like keep the heroes at bay for a long time while they get poked from a distance by Guardians. And a pack leaders also areas really well. So yeah, I put the Hawk in A.
Okay. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, I have 2 is pretty much almost the Hawk's Mutation. Doesn't it depend upon early? You can farm essence early on this later. But yeah, Guardians, you can incorporate maybe 1 or 2 Impales at the ramps. They'll definitely get some hits off on the heroes to whittle them down faster. Personally, I would do not all half, if anything, half Creeper Hosts, and if you can, with any extra supply, fit in some. But yeah, Dehaka A to B.
Yeah, I want to say, wouldn't Impalers be great for a non-committal arm? Just to kind of poke away at the bait without actually having to commit your entire investment.
Impalers
But how are you
or Creeper Hosts?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Impalers or Creeper Hosts?
Creeper Hosts.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, the Impalers are hugely committal.
Oh, so I had to say Creeper Hosts.
Creeper Hosts, yeah, you can have like I guess 8 to 10 of them. Go stuff at bases and get free kills. That's fun.
So both of you agree with A.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
with Creeper Hosts, Blizzard's gonna catch all the creepers en route.
I guess true, especially if you're going to the right objective. They'll go in the same direction as the Blizzard.
I do recommend them, but just note that your creeper hosts are going to not do as well because it's going to get caught.
They have 180 health though. The creepers, I mean, they won't die off that fast.
Yeah, but it takes a while to get to their destination.
As long as the creepers can, wouldn't be a problem. But okay, if you say if are better, then I guess I'll have D for both of you said A.
You can mix them. I think you should mix them, but yeah.
That makes sense. All right, let's put them in A. You can mix the creeper hosts and the guardians. So, prestige-wise, we always recommend the second one. Seems really good, and no reason to deviate this week. Next, Fenix. Where do you have him?
Phoenix has the way to box the heroes pretty damn good. Kind of semi non-committal army just by throwing champions at it. But yeah, it's going to be a pain to get them through the blizzard. But doable if you really want just keep your champions at home. You can sneak the Arbiter suit in, or sneak observe and warp the Arbiter suit in to warp your hero, or to read your heroes to the point of contact and have them do the work and get in and get out. So I have Phoenix for BDC.
BD. How about you, Twotuuu?
The reason why I didn't put Phoenix in S is because of things, but again, very, very effortless. You don't even really worry, except like you don't want your your shells be hit by the AoE spells. Otherwise, like even if your champions get hit by a nuke or something, you don't really care that much. So fighting the hardest part of this mutation is actually really easy. It's the pushing that's difficult. That's why I just put him in A.
Really? Aren't the air backways a bit of a concern for Phoenix?
Not the longer. So you're at home and there aren't blizzards to block your units. Like you will take longer because but you still have your Caldalis on the ground killing the heroes. Then you're left with like regular air units, which Mojo can take care of.
That makes sense. Do you agree, Eviling, putting him in A?
That Twotuuu says, and it's not trivial to push in with Phoenix too. So I said B to C. I would be into 80, but yeah.
Okay.
If anything knocks Phoenix down to bind for that.
So both of you okay with A? Put him in A. Second prestige, of course, unless you really want Super Solar King. First prestige,
but I would suggest go for all your champions. Like as the heroes start whittling down your champions, it's good to have the others in backup or either to I mean all the heroes are ground based, so all your champions can hit ground.
Nice. Let's move on. Han Horner, where do we have him?
Han and Horner, they require good use of top bar, because if you don't use your top bars correctly, or if you don't, you would kind of waste them, then you will need to fight the heroes. And Han Horner's best unit against the heroes is Reapers, but Reapers are also very fragile. So it's like who kills who. It's like a fight to the death, and see who that.
Yikes.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna die first. So I put her in C.
Oof. How about you, Evil?
Yeah, I have Han and Horner from C to D. I would actually repeat P2 because it has the ability to really punch hard when the heroes start, and to I would definitely, we encourage you to use your cooldowns whenever they're off. This one, he saved them, especially when Nova comes out. You want her dead. So the good thing is Nova will come at a point in time. It's a wave, mostly with Magmines, and then you can have a space station just for Nova.
Both of you said C, so let's put him in C. Prestige-wise, I think the first one is still better. The second, yes, they hit harder. Your risk investment by going into Horner units. If they get hit by an unlucky nuke, or if they get caught in storm, I guess you can teleport out, but it's still a big investment.
Yeah,
if you really like the second prestige, go for it. Otherwise, we recommend the first. Let's move on.
And just caveat I would like to add, using strike fighters is not really recommended for this because they'll get caught by Blizzard and they just take forever to do what they need to do.
They get shot down. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Karax, where do we have him?
Karax, very great non-committal army and good defense. So space lasers good. You could make this work with P1, and it'd be it depends on what you, I guess, cherish more. Are you cherishing, you need to work on your defense, then probably P1 would be. If you're okay with the defense and need more on the offense, P3 would be definitely better. I have Karax from SA.
SA. How about you, Twotuuu?
And Cal did this with P2 using shadow cannons, immortals, and then transitioning to carriers.
Of course he did.
I did this with P1, just defense at home and carriers. So P1 makes carriers. Yeah, you can make carriers. So enough and then at home, and then you have just enough at home to deal with waves, the hero wave. You have a delete button. If they come together, you press the chrono wave and they die instantly. So I think that's safe. But if you're not sure how to get out they're gonna nuke your base. So because your buildings can't run. Yeah. So yeah, I put Karax in B, but I can see Karax in A because I only needed one try, like one real attempt to do this.
I also had a really easy time here at Karax. I'm not sure if I did upload that video, but I had an easy time as Karax, so A is fine. You said A is fine, so
I think A is fine. Yeah.
So caveat, if you're going the P1 route, I see a lot of people that just make pure cannons. That's not going to take, you need to at least 2 or 3.
That's also fair. Let's put Karax in A. Second, probably really good here. That's what I use. Second prestige. One. Kerrigan.
Kerrigan is one of worst against heroes from the storm because you don't know how to survive the early game. You will get wrecked so hard. So, like against Dehaka, you need enough lings so that Kerrigan doesn't get dragged and Tychus doesn't. Oh no, Tychus doesn't really do anything. But if Kerrigan gets dragged, she'll get killed. Later on, Nova's if your lings get nuked or if you don't have enough lings, Nova, so that's
Yes.
not good. And then later on, you need Ultralisks, and hopefully that you have enough of them so that you don't get wrecked. The good thing is heroes aren't stronger. So if fighting on high ground, your ultras will have no problems with Blizzard. Against the bases, you can use immobilization wave, but which is good. So yeah, it's mostly about surviving and heroes in the early game before you get enough money ultralisks. So 1 to ultralisks is actually pretty. It's not that. So I put her in B.
With worse heroes against her, but still B. Okay, makes sense. How about
She's
you?
good on this map.
That's true. She's bad against the mutator, but very self. That makes sense. How you eviling?
Yeah, I have Kerrigan for B to C. Any prestige except for B1. You're not going to get your creep spread out at all. It's just within your base, which does help for defense if you really want to be mass about it. But
Worms are
again, the non-committal army part means you got worms, so that once you can just get a little vision or use allies vision, pop up the mega worms, do what you need to get done, get out, and just leave the omega worm head there, and you can start blocking the ramps with the omega worm. Great too.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
put him
B.
B. The V RK with B. Let's put him. Nova. Where do we have him?
Nova has good firepower to take down heroes. She has a good way to help protect it against heroes for you and ally through defense drones. She offers a great way to start clearing stuff without having to commit much, other than you cheat Nova. So I have A to B.
A to B. How about you, Twotuuu?
I did this with both P3 and P1, and I took I don't remember how many, 10 tries with P3. It took 2 tries with P1. I was wondering, why didn't I just do P1? P3 is really good at clearing the base, but P1's so much better here. She's really good against heroes. The only problem here is that you need to build. You really need to work. But she has all the tools, and she's really, really strong. So I put her in A.
Okay, both of you had him in A, so let's put him in A. I actually struggled here as Nova, not because of the character itself. It's a skill issue. I have my on the same pro group as my Liberators. I always get them mixed up. It's a skill issue. I gotta work on that. Yeah, I gotta work on that, but I get caught up on because I have a lot of control groups as Nova. I have one for my Liberators, one for my Ravens, one for my production, one for my upgrades, one for my command setters, one for Nova herself. That's a lot of control groups, and I don't have issues with it. But when you truck on top of that, gets really confusing, for me at least. But for others, both of you guys said A. Let's put them in A. Prestige wise, yeah, if you want to use the third prestige, it still works fine. But if Twotuuu says that the first prestige is better, it's probably true. Let's move on. Raynor, where do we have him?
Raynor, he does not have that much problem against heroes but if you put, I think we mentioned this with the League of Vermilions, if you put just a few mines too short, if you're a few mines short, your whole base is gone. So like vultures, they're not doing much damage against the heroes. So you basically have to put enough mines and you have to stay on top of macro, and then the heroes will die. Also, Raynor sucks at pushing into the enemy bases because of blizzards. So if you have to dodge blizzards in P3, then you also have to protect your truck from ground enemies that cannot hit air. Yeah, a lot of you need to macro it well, and you need to be able to push truck quickly. Otherwise, you will run out of time. I put Raynor in C.
C. Okay. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, I have Raynor and C to D. I recommend just go with P3. That's your best chance of a you can if he comes down to killing the construct, you can start raining bile, but you can still definitely use bile. But I suggest not doing so because that's going to be mostly throwing resources away. This is on paper you'll be able to micro them through stake all the safely. Realistically, most likely they're written off as dead because that's a lot of money, and then you got on it. As Toots are going to be your best bet at stopping the heroes. Keep in mind the heroes do have our detectors, so they'll be able to see the mine. Just note you're gonna have a huge. It's gonna be very inhumane for mines if they do see them. So just make sure to plug them.
From my experience, the mines do really well. Enough of them, and you spread them out. They can't all trigger the same. And if you high ground, it just tilts the favor ever so much in your direction, because when they have to walk up the high ground, they are more likely to trigger the mines. Also, my biggest problem with Raynor, I did get, I think, 19 battlecruisers. I maxed out on battlecruisers Raynor. and they just don't deal enough damage. I think I did get upgrades. Go watch that video. I did get all the upgrades for the battle cruisers. They just suck. Anyway, both of you said C. Okay,
Yes.
let's put him in C. Third prestige. Yeah, that's what I did. He just sucks. Let's move on. Where do we have him?
Stetmann, classic. I have him from S to A. Pretty much, his lings, if they get nuked, so what? You can tie up heroes with the lings greatly. Stetmann has great punching power. The only problem is Blizzard. It's going to have wreak a lot of havoc with your satellite uptimes as you go out to push. But I mean, that's still Stetmann is still very
really
strong against that.
Yeah.
So,
How
SA.
about you, Twotuuu?
I did a multi-mutation with this where I added two other mutations on top of Enter the Nexus, and I had no problem. So S.
All right, you should add something like Black Death onto this to make it a real challenge. Okay, and Void Rift's Black Death anyway. So both of you said S.
Polarity.
Yeah, Polarity.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah,
unanimous S. Stat best prestige, the second prestige. I know some of you are tempted to use the first prestige because it doesn't get destroyed. You can still zone, but it's worth it. Super Gary is Super Gary even without the speed bonus than a regular Gary, or Super Duper Gary outside the stat zone. It's still better than a regular Gary in the stat zone, so he's still better as the second prestige. Let's move on. Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov, he masses bunkers. So you do P3, even with Blizzard, you mass bunkers because P3 is best against heroes, and then later on you add queens or tanks. But for this one, I highly recommend tanks, not queens, because I tried queens so many times and I switched to so much better. Since one is that the tanks kill they have AoE against the escorts from the truck waves, and two, they can deep tunnel directly to the constructs that your infested might not be able to reach. So I think the tanks are better here. I think Stukov, because if you don't have enough, or if Artanis gets into your stuff, he'll kill your bunkers. And Nova nukes bunkers and stuff, and you can't really run. So
True.
Yeah.
All right.
I put him in B.
How about you, Eviling?
I actually have Stukov from D. The Blizzard is, if you're going for mass waves of infested, it's going, if RNG is not on your forever to get there, or might not even get there in the first, because they just might be whittled down, especially if they're going. So Blizzard travels from left to, if you're attacking base, which you're eventually going to do.
Yes.
Or the right base is going to be easier. It's going left has to be harder, because if you get caught into the Blizzard, it's just, you're going to see it for the whole duration.
Right, you mean?
For me, I would.
It goes the blue go left. Right.
No, it's by going right, because it's going to travel with you.
Misspeaking on the mutation video. Anyway.
I know. Definitely make your tanks. They're the best form of semi-non-committal. The problem is once you deep tunnel them, it's going until the deep tunnel is, so you can get them back. But hopefully they survive long enough? ? And then you can reclaim. Yeah, if it's once he's going after, don't be surprised if you lose them. When you do push in, have your top bar ready to push in. So it could be your major power points to take down the constructs.
Power points.
Yeah.
Is he C despite all those? I had hard with all those amazing things. But is he? Yeah.
It's gonna take him a while to get there. You might run out of time.
Okay. How do you think, too?
I don't know how lucky I was, but I didn't. The third base, the third area was the right, and I didn't have that much trouble pushing into it. Like, I didn't feel it was any different from the other ones. So whatever that
I guess
means.
the tanks really help a lot.
I did tanks to push.
Oh, you didn't?
I really didn't use tanks to push.
So
I
they're
just used
for
infested.
Objective busting.
The tanks are basically to defend against heroes, and then like you really like emergency tunnel a few tanks over. But for the most part, you don't need offense.
So what do you think, Eviling? Is it just did you just get more? Is he B tier?
Yeah, it's Blizzard, it's RNG based. I think there's possible luck involved, but I would argue there's huge points to Twotuuu being Twotuuu.
I deep tunneled and I waited for my downs to make sure I can deep tunnel out before putting the truck on the otherwise it will die. Like
yeah, it's Okay, so let's take your average P3 Stukov player and then and compare them against. I think that's where it's between B, D, and C to D. I think.
I think C makes sense in that top bar usage is important, and if you use wrong top bar at the wrong time, you might not be able to kill a wave.
That makes all right. So for okay with C, so let's see. Swann.
Swann, very well known for his defense. Pretty much this one, I would recommend 1 to 3. Each one, its way of doing its own tactic. Yeah, good defense can really be good on the offense in terms of not much to start whittling your way toward the constructs. I have Swann from S to A.
How about you, Twotuuu?
I don't think Swann is that good because I used P0 because concentrated beam is really good at clearing everything, and you're left with like mostly the hero plus maybe a few stragglers against a bunch of raids or it's a bunch of factories, and you just slow drill them to death. Static defense is not the best. Like you need defense, but once Nova comes, you don't rely on static defense because defense will get nuked. So by the time Nova comes, you basically like wraiths and you need the warbots against Nova. Against Nova. And then you need wraiths because you can kind of stuff, so that and you have pulse cannon clear entire areas. So for regular Swann, it's like you need static defense up to a certain point, and later on you just spread static defense so that Artanis has things to hit. Not because you need them. You mostly run wraiths, Swann and B.
What do you think, Eviling?
That's fair to me because, yeah, I can see Swann. Well, so the thing about static fence, yeah, definitely do not group them up because that's just Nova and Zagara bait right there. Spread it out, but have enough of it, especially at the ramp. That's the main thing is you need to have it at the ramp to start. So it starts picking at them, and hopefully they start getting vision. They'll be at most half health, hopefully, maybe, ? But yeah, I can go. It's not going to be easy for Swann. With that being said, fair to me. But do other options that we have on this list.
How about a bunch of tanks in the Hercules or non-committal offense?
That's why I think I can make work with P3.
I wouldn't do that, but because that means they're like mostly useless until you go on offense. Whereas wraiths are fine on offense, they're good on defense.
Call tanks useless on the defense. I mean, you're incorporating the defense around. You're ready to go on offense, and you hurt your attack jump.
I guess the risk is with Nova Killer will snipe your Hercules, and then all your tanks are vulnerable.
Tanks are ground units, so Zeratul on unit slides again well, whereas wraiths are air units. So I would rather spend my gas. Actually, I wasn't short on gas. I was short on minerals. So I'd rather use my resources on more wraiths.
Right.
But I guess I have enough of them, maybe. But I haven't tried P, so I don't know.
I mean, you can use tanks on no prestige. You don't need 16 tank Hercules.
Yep.
No, it's not
break
P3.
a construct.
You don't if you don't have enough of them.
That makes sense. Okay, so both of you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put him in B. Prestige-wise, I guess you prefer should be fine. Tychus, where do we have him?
Tychus is really strong until the late game. Really good against heroes until like 4 months. Then it's like I don't have enough charges to fight them. P2 versus heroes is kind of a skill check. It's like P0 or even P3. It's just kind of easier because you bunch them up and you have healing and stuff. You have ult gear. But yeah, P2 is much stronger early on, and then P3 is for later.
Interesting.
So also you need the high ground for creative death is kind of crowded, so you don't want you're out each other's way.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to control them well. I put Tychus in A because he is pretty good.
Would you want the big red button for this mission?
I guess you can. So P0 also is fine. I think Big Rep's fun. The hardest wave was the 21-minute wave with 4 heroes that come to attack wave. So
and you need
if you have Odin, yes, you basically need Odin sort. And with P3, you have Tychus plus Odin, but I don't think you need 3. I would.
You Eviling.
I22 made great points about Tychus on this. Yeah, 2 is doable with this, but it is a major skill check how you manage things and where you have. If Sam goes down, you get real quick. P3 is nice because it is in many senses a non-committal army. Odin is an army in itself.
Yeah.
And so having your truck navigate to where it needs to, and then once you start drop a Odin on it and just have it start auto-hacking thing death. And the thing about the structures, when Odin hits them pretty hard, even without big red button. The other, you can also make this work with P1. I mean, having extra stun bombs is stun demo chargers on Tychus is really nice.
Yeah.
You can non-kill with
Medevac.
upping your medevacs. Yes.
All right.
So A to B.
All right. Both of you have A. So let's put an A. Vorazun, where do we have him?
Vorazun, she has great crowd control. So
Impeccable.
if you
Fantastic.
impeccable for triple.
Phenomenal.
And non-committal army with P3, it is. I mean, once time stop goes down, you can pretty much the truck into there and just destroy the construct.
Go crazy.
Put it on and then that's it. And you just focus on the defense on your side. So one major thing to get the defense going. I see any Vorazun players neglect build a Stargate. You need a Stargate for that. You need to have Disruption Web, and you need heroes start coming. Just Disruption Web and pretty much go at them. And if they start getting to your base, to have a few Corsair, or at least 8 Corsairs that are not auto casting Disruption, have them available.
Interesting.
As the cloaks.
All right. How about you, Twotuuu? Letter.
Oh man.
SA.
SA. How about you,
See,
Twotuuu?
Vorazun is very good against it. I don't think she's very good on this map because it's basically like you need to stop to push, because if you don't have time stop, her pushing power is so pathetic. It's so bad. And if you use time stops to push, you don't really have time stop to fight the waves. Another I guess, Vorazun skill that you use against heroes plus stasis ward, which it's not very hard to do, but you can do it. So you basically drop a black hole, and while they're in a black hole, you drop stasis wards right next to them, so that when the black hole duration, they will still remain stuck. So you're basically chain stunning them, and you repeat until they're dead. If you don't do this, you might actually lose your Dark Templar, or you waste black holes. Both are not ideal. I guess A is fine, right? But just know that you need stasis wards.
Okay. I have an S, but both of you are okay with A. Let's put him in A.
Yep.
Not unanimous, not S. Zagara, where do we have him?
Exactly.
Oh, by the way,
Zagara
Vorazun's one prestige, the third one. There we go.
Only third. Zagara, she fights the heroes on high ground, and then you basically just warn them. You just basically overwhelm after you bait out their ever ability, and you just F2A them. And then more often you bring like Zagara, and that does work. You might need to bring a like Baneling to do some extra, not really. And basically you have like a minute or so between each hero wave around. So tunnels, like you can deep tunnel to an area, just poke away at the defenses in a base, and then repeat or tunnel to deal with waves and stuff. I put Zagara in A.
Oh, it's pretty good. How about you, Eviling?
I have Zagara from A to B also. I would recommend any prestige except P1, because most P1 players know how to F2A, and if you get to A, your Scourge Storm toward the constructs, they're going to get caught Blizzard, and so it's going to be a big waste of resources. You need to have that intensified frenzy. It really makes a huge difference when trying to take down a base in a very expedient manner.
Most
pretty much
are what they call apes, and that's fine. It's fine.
That's essentially what I'm saying. The rest with stuff, if you got the resources, make launchers to so use your army to keep the ramps, and bio launcher the heroes down.
I thought it was not get mentioned, but there it is. It was okay. So okay with A.
I didn't mention it because I don't think it's a good idea. I don't recommend bio launchers here.
So you're recommending?
It's hard to keep them still. It's hard to keep them still.
It's
so
true.
That's
true. It's hard to keep them still.
I'm not recommending a lot of bio launchers.
Anyway,
2 or 3 at a ramp.
Anyway, both of you said A. Let them in A. Okay.
Although is also okay because you can make your Zerglings, but I don't think you need it.
Okay. Zeratul, where do we have him?
Zeratul, P2 allows you to really power up your army. I mean, you shouldn't be getting to the point that you have like more than 10 artifacts collected. But yeah, he can definitely get to the point of boxing. It's just a matter of surviving until then. He has the tools for non-committal. He has the tools for punching. I have him from A to B.
Do you recommend caging the art?
Isn't that always a thing?
Yeah, I was just
I mean,
wondering.
on the maps that allow it, yeah.
Because
If-
Blizzard's
and this
Blizzard's past.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, then you just do it. Okay, heroes might. I guess live. So how about you, Twotuuu?
yes.
So people say like Zeratul's OP and stuff. Against those, he's not one of the better commanders against it because Zeratul gets sniped to death by Nova. If you gen at the wrong time and nuke you, it's Nova versus Zeratul. Nova hit him so hard. No cannons. I think if you gauge exactly how many projections because you're not gonna really count. And
think it's
so if
health-based.
you don't have enough, if you use like it's kind of hard. So you can make a bunch of DTs, but then DTs aren't great for offense. I just mass cannons, but like it took me a while to understand actually beat this because I was messing up the second wave against Dehaka Tychus. Yeah, that was really hard.
That does sound rough.
I was trying to beat the wave without using Legion because that's 800 minerals, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. But once I figured that out, it was a little easier.
Which Legion did you select?
The Zealot one.
No, Telbrus.
The Zealot, the Spinbris.
Yeah.
Spinning.
Stormy one. More like Telbrus is the only one who does anyway.
Yeah,
So
I
letter.
put Zeratul in B because
B.
I think it's you can and your cage can get messed up if they go that way.
Okay, both of you are okay with B?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, B it is.
So I didn't have him in S. His are rough.
Yes. So still win an S. That's really nice. So who's top of A?
Haka. The same thing
Yes.
with as Stetmann, but with the
Wait, does not make Dehaka S tier?
no.
Oh wait, with
you-
Dehaka, you can eat the enemy Dehaka. That's I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
It's really
you
nice.
eat him and then you summon a pack leader.
Yeah. All right, Dehaka top of A tier. Who's next?
Free kills, basically. Free kill.
Or
Uh,
I'll say
really-
Nova?
because Nova doesn't have that much problem against Blizzard,
Skill issue.
like her. So, if anything, she can just like wait it out because units have HP and stuff and healing. Kind of wait out one of the circles,
Okay, Nova second
or
at
just
A.
teleport out.
Are you okay with that, Eviling?
I'm kind of torn between Nova and Karax. I little more leaning toward Karax, but to make the video shorter, I think we'll just go with Nova.
I'm leaning toward Karax because of perseverance, but I'm okay with. We all know why, anyway. Well, let's put Nova and Karax in second and third, respectively. Who's fourth in A?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah, Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix can box.
Wacky boy. And then Tychus?
Yes, I mean the CC is
Just the epitome of non-committal. Just teleport your entire army back. 3 charges of that, too.
just be wise on how you use those charges because they can go quick.
Vorazun?
Yeah, Vorazun is click a button, heroes are gone.
And then Abathur and Zagara?
Abathur than Zagara. Yes.
Okay. Who's top of B?
I think
Zeratul?
Alarak is at bottom.
Yeah,
Bottom. Okay. Zeratul?
skill.
Kerrigan, Zeratul have problems with early, not so much later. Alarak has in the later game, not the early game.
Okay.
Because the Manx P1 is early game. Swann is early game is okay, and then late game it gets harder. So if early game is more important.
Yeah, I would say early then. If like Alarak, if he gets to the late game, he has his mothership, can send that in and so you would if you're
So
if
who
you're
is-
out of the game, then no.
Who is top of B? Zeratul? Because he.
So
Oh, wait, no.
one can guess.
But he has a hard early game.
Yeah, the hard early game.
So
All of these, I think only. So who's top of B? Arcturus?
With P3 Manx, you can survive the early game way to like I would say
Nova?
Zeratul.
Zeratul.
With ESOs, you start bombing Zeratul and Zagara, so they like are hurt before they even get to your base. So you survive up to 13 minutes before Artanis Kerrigan easily with P3 Manx. I think I'm at the because
Okay.
the early game is really easy.
And second in B,
I would be leaning more towards Swann second.
Swann.
One concentrated beam does a lot of damage and kills all the weenies
Weenies?
Yeah.
What?
that has to come with.
Yes, I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And
Who's-
then you to death for like factory, and they can shoot your factory for a while or factories for a while, and then you can drill them down slowly. safe distance.
Okay. And then who's next? Zeratul or Kerrigan?
Yeah. Zeratul. I tried with Kerrigan, but that's because I need to do.
Yeah, Kerrigan is a little. I mean, she comes out pretty much almost full power already. Zeratul kind of has to boil up to it.
First, though. She needs
Kerrigan
the army.
requires. Kerrigan is a lot less forgiving early on than Zeratul. Zeratul, it's like if you really want to deal with heroes, you spend about 800.
That's fair.
All right, let's say Kerrigan the Alarak.
Zeratul, Kerrigan, Alarak.
Yeah.
Zeratul, Kerrigan, Alarak. Okay. Let's put it that way.
Zeratul above Kerrigan.
Sure. Who's top of C?
Stukov.
Yeah. And then Artanis, Han and Horner. The Raynor.
I don't know who's better, Han and Horner or Raynor. I don't know who's better.
It doesn't matter. They're at the bottom.
Yeah. It's better because he has the option to increase his economy. Han and Horner doesn't really have that.
I don't think Raynor's is better because
Spider Mines.
Heroes are not that big of an issue. Like you don't worry that much about heroes. It's more about clearing with Blizzard. Han Horner, you might die to the heroes.
That's true. Okay, let's put Raynor above Han Horner. All right. Okay, one more thing. Do we have any nation of B tier and below who is better than Stetboy on his own? Swann Zeratul?
Swann better than Stetmann on his own.
I'd say maybe Arcturus and Fenix. Phoenix can box the heroes out. Arcturus can bombard from long range.
Maybe, but Phoenix here.
Phoenix is A.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Alarak and Zeratul? Raynor and Zeratul. Raynor and Kerrigan. Arcturus and Kerrigan.
I would say Raynor, Kerrigan, but I don't think they're bad. Just because Kerrigan has problems with heroes, Raynor has problems with clearing, and then Kerrigan immobilization wave clears, and Raynor has spider mines for heroes.
All right, if there are no really strong synergies, watch tutorials. I will link that below. See you guys. Time.